can't tell, we've made it to Sequoia National Park, situated just 2 hours outside of Fresno, California, one of California's 8 national parks and one of the most recognizable national parks in the country. Fresno is kind of the gateway to 3 national parks in California: Sequoia, and then we got Kings Canyon next door, and probably most beautifully, Yosemite. The actual gates to Kings Canyon and Sequoia lie about an hour 15 minutes outside the city, and then to get to Sequoia about another 45 minutes or so. So now that we're here, let's take you through this beautiful national park. Alright, we've made it to our first of 5 trails here at Sequoia National Park. This is Toccopoa Falls. Easy hike, just over a mile and a half, only about 620 feet of elevation gain. It says it takes about an hour 45 minutes to finish. We'll see how long it takes us, but let's get going. Alright, we've made it to the base of Toccopoa Falls. Not the most stunning waterfall you've ever seen, but the scenery around it truly is. I mentioned at the beginning that this hike is 1.7 miles. That's one way round trip. We're looking at about 3.5 miles, which is what I thought, so I was a little confused at the beginning. But beautiful views along the way, as you guys saw, and that's just no different here at the end of the trail. We're gonna start heading back. We still got 4 more trails to do today, so we have a lot more in store. Let's get back to the parking lot. I think this is the perfect warm-up hike to start your day here in Sequoia. Get the legs moving. It's really an easy hike. I would put it as like a 3 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. There was people, what I loved is there was people of all ages on this hike, which kind of just demonstrated that this hike is for anyone. I think the biggest thing to consider though is just consider the elevation we're at here in Sequoia. The last sign I saw on the drive up here was about 5,000 feet, and we were still going up a little bit. So the elevation definitely does make the hike a little bit harder just because of the lack of oxygen, but still is fairly easy. All right, we're nearing the end of this first trail, heading back to the parking lot. All right, made it back to the car. Another great thing about this trail, plenty of parking in this area. When I got here about noonish, plenty of open spots. Getting back to the car around 2 o'clock, plenty of open spots still. It is a Thursday today, so the crowds aren't insane so far. We're about to go to the main part of the park to see the big trees and some cool lookouts, so I'll see you guys there. chance, unplanned stop at the Sherman Tree. Don't know why I wasn't gonna stop here, but saw the sign. Figured might as well. It's about half a mile, pretty steep apparently, so see if it's worth it. Alright, first of all, parking here at the Sherman Tree, awful. They did recommend taking the free shuttle, so I'd recommend that too. I was confused with which tree it was at first, and then it was pretty obvious once you got farther down which tree it was. It was a giant tree. I didn't go all the way down. I think the viewpoint I was at was pretty good, pretty solid. Is it worth the stop? We'll see. I mean, if you have time, might as well. But it is a pretty big tree. Plus, you're at Sequoia National Park. You should probably see some sequoias. We're gonna go see some. Hopefully the parking lot's not as bad over there. Alright, we just pulled up to Mora Rock. First of all, look at the view just from our parking situation. Then you can see the rock over there. Completely opposite of what I was expecting. I thought it was just gonna be a short trail. I didn't know we were gonna be climbing, but this is gonna be awesome. Alright, just finished Mora Rock. Beautiful, easily my favorite thing we've done. It was unexpected. It was just cool, it was fun, it was different. I had it down as half a mile, 183 feet. There's no way that was only 183 feet. Officially back in the car, another great hike. Again, the only thing that made this kind of difficult is just being at this altitude. Other than that, pretty easy hike. Still don't think it was 183 feet. I'll have to do some research on that, but we have two more planned hikes, Panther Gap and Crescent Meadows. Crescent Meadows is right around the corner, and then we'll end the day with Panther Gap. So let's go see some sequoias at Crescent Meadows. Alright, here at Crescent Meadows, this trail's only about a mile and a quarter long, so it'll take about 30 minutes. Definitely kind of a change of pace. It's very peaceful. This is a little bit different than what we've seen so far. This is honestly kind of like a botanical garden kind of feel, but just got word that there was a bear sighting here earlier. They do like to hang in the meadows this time of year, so that does make sense. We'll see if we can see one. We are still on bear watch just because of what that lady said, but been looking over my shoulder, but nothing, got no bear spray or anything, so just hope that we don't come across them. I was walking this direction. It's like a chewing sound or something over there. Can't see anything from this angle, but I think the last thing we're gonna do is risk it. Do we risk it? It honestly could have been like a chipmunk or something, but it was pretty loud, and had they not said there was a bear here earlier, probably would have just walked by, but this is technically the long way anyway, so maybe we should just go the correct way. I forgot to mention this all day, but it is like perfect weather here in Sequoia. It's about 70, 72 degrees, slight breeze. Down in the valley in Fresno, it's right around 100, so I think we're glad to be up here. I will say, for being one of the most popular national parks in July, the crowds have not been bad at all. I mean, it is a Thursday, but still, we got a parking spot in every parking lot we attempted to park in. The trails, honestly, besides the Sherman Trail, pretty empty. Murrow Rock was a little busy, but almost, to be honest, skipped the meadows, just go to Panther Gap. But I mean, honestly, this is behind Murrow Rock is one of my favorite trails of the day. This is pretty sick. For now, besides the drive, I feel like we hadn't seen much Sequoia, so this trail was very much needed because these Sequoias are something else. Yeah, something that way just doesn't feel right. So we're gonna go the correct way on the trail that we started on. We missed the turn, but we'll just go back and get that turn back because we're just not gonna risk that today. So we'll take that way to avoid any potential of running into a bear. Guess we still could run into one out there, but it sounded like he was over there. Could have been chipmunk, but we'll just play it safe. Apparently this is the path of falling down Sequoia. Alright, back in the car once again. Completely underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Crescent Meadows, but that was beautiful. Beautiful sequoias, beautiful meadows and everything. We're gonna go to Panther Gap. It's about 5 right now. We probably wouldn't get there until about 5:15, and it's a 3-hour hike, so probably skip out on Panther Gap. The other one was Congress Trail, but I don't see it anywhere on the maps. So there's Big Trees Trail, maybe they just renamed it or something, but we'll head there, one final stop, and then we'll head back to Fresno. This is Big Trees Trail, and pretty self-explanatory, I think, what we're going to see here. But the trail doesn't look too long, so let's do it. Alright, this is pretty odd to me, not entirely sure what the story is here, but this rock and tree are like fused together somehow. Pretty dope. Wrapping up Big Trees Trail. It's sort of like the meadows, but I do prefer the meadows over this one, but this is a good last stop. Sequoia was our first of 63 national parks in the US, one of 9 in the state of California alone. There's a reason it is one of the most popular in the country. Easy access from a major city, well-maintained trails, abundant wildlife, and breathtaking views. Sequoia, you were amazing, and now we're off to New Mexico.